How's it going, everyone? Tuki here, back again with some more NHL 16 and my Boston Bruins GM mode. And in this episode, we will finish up Season 2. Fingers crossed, maybe somehow we make the playoffs, but that's highly unlikely. Again, in the last episode, we finally blew up this team. We've set the course for what this series will be for seasons to come, but we do have a few question marks we still need to keep our eye on. Again, these are the lines we are starting with, and again, the big questions are just simply how are these players going to perform? Is Michael Bodker going to be good enough to be that first-line guy, that second-line guy, until Jake DeBrusk is ready? Is David Pastrnak going to be able to be that top-line forward that we really need him to be? Can Seth Griffith cut it? Koklachev? Every single one of these guys are under the microscope right now, and really this last 20 games or so is going to be a big deciding factor in what we do for the upcoming season and how we really go and approach the draft as well. As you can see, here's what we have. We have a game against Toronto. That's also the trade deadline. Not expecting to get any last-second offers, but maybe we will. We will sim up until probably... I don't know if I'll exactly do the end of the month. I'm trying to decide how long we want to give Koklachev to see if he can really turn it around in maybe 2 weeks. Maybe sim it 2 weeks. And you know what? Yeah. So let's sim it 2 weeks. Subban will get the start against Edmonton. Regardless, it's a tough game against either Edmonton or Anaheim. Very similar records. So we will sim 2 weeks, and we'll see how this team does. And just to recap again, I mentioned in the last episode how we had some contracts out, and we do end up getting some depth as Jim O'Brien, Colby Roback, and Daryl Powell actually rejects. Apparently, we have a full roster, but we do have 2 guys signed in, and let's just keep simming. You know what? Fuck it. We'll do it live. Never mind. No, we won't. See, that's what happens when I try to do things live. Too many pop-ups. So we're cutting back into this just a little bit sooner than planned. Again, we get the wins over Toronto, Winnipeg. A loss to the Rangers. We beat the Red Wings. We have a game upcoming now against Edmonton. Malcolm Subban will get the start. I already switched him, but I was paying attention to the lines. And really, so far, Koklachev's only rebounded a point, whereas Seth Griffith, as you can see, has already rebounded 4 points. Michael Chaput is up a point as well. So I'm sitting here trying to decide when is the right time to put Austin Czarnik into the lineup. He's actually already lost an overall point. I'm not sure actually if he dropped back down to an 80. And actually, you know what? Screw it. Let's put Czarnik in, see what he can do, and see if he gels a little bit better. Brian Ferlin, as you can see, was another big question mark. He is doing all right, and pretty much everyone else is on good pace. Seth Griffith still has the minus, but he is doing a little bit better. And you know what? We will do this one live. Let's see what happens. Czarnik is in. Subban is in. Can we get the win in Edmonton and we lose in the shootout? But we do get a point, which is something we rarely get from our backup goalies in this series. We've simmed another week, and guys, honestly, we're making a strong push. This team is really gelling. We've only lost 3 games in the month, and only 1 loss was a regulation loss. We hit this big road stretch, you know, the 3-game road stretch in the Western Conference. We're back home now. We do drop an extra 2 points with the shootout loss, but still, a shootout loss isn't too bad. 37, 27, and 7. That's a whole lot of 7s. I like what we're seeing from this team. We're going to sim up to the Toronto game. Toronto certainly has a much worse record than the Detroit Red Wings. Will give Subban another start there. Well, my optimism has diminished just a little bit. A regulation loss to Tampa Bay, a shootout loss to Nashville, an overtime win against the Montreal Canadiens, but then a shootout loss against Tampa. So again, 3 losses in the past week, 2 of them in overtime, so that's not too bad. We're now sitting at 38, 8, and 9. We'll actually really quick live here take a look at the standings. As you can see, Matt Nieto, 5 points, I think, since coming here, which isn't too tremendous. But we'll take a look at the standings. The Red Wings are in, which, god damn it, we got to play them here in a minute. So let's see. It's looking like 89 and 86. 86. What's the other side looking like? So we are 1 point out of a playoff spot. The Florida Panthers and the Montreal Canadiens have the 2 wildcard spots. We are 1 point out of a playoff spot. Florida does have a game in hand, but guys, we are in this. Despite this diminished team, we have a chance to actually make the playoffs, being carried by this defense and by Tuukka Rask. Austin Czarnik, we'll actually take a look at him really quick. He has 3 points thus far. I'm not sure how many games. So 3 points in 8 games. I might put Coco back in. Actually, you know what? Yeah, let's put put Kokochev back in. You can see he's unhappy. It's fucking impossible to keep him happy. If you sit him for more than 2 games, he gets fucking bitchy. We'll put Subban in, and we'll sim this Toronto game live as well. Cut down on the editing just a little bit, and let's see if Subban can get a win, and he does, a 4-1 win. And let's actually, fuck it, we'll do it live still. We will put Tuukka Rask back in for this gigantic game against the Detroit Red Wings. Kokochev still down to the 76. I was hoping he would rebound a little bit quickly. Don't know why he lost morale over ice time when he started the last game, but good on Malcolm Subban there, getting us that win, and actually really quick. You know what, fuck it, we'll ignore the player morale, it doesn't matter too much. Let's sim this game against Detroit, then we're in the month of April, and the home stretch. Can we get a win? And we do. We get a shootout win over the Detroit Red Wings, putting us to 40 wins on the season. 5 games left now, 2 back-to-backs, a game against New Jersey, and then a home, actually 2 consecutive home games against the Senators. That's very weird, but they do have a losing record. Buffalo has a pretty strong record. Jack Eichel is a monster. We will absolutely see him when we do the end of season recap on points and everything. But from the looks of it, guys, we very well might be there. And as you can see on the bottom, we have the star next to our freaking team logo. I cannot believe this. We are currently in a playoff spot. I'm not sure by how much. It looks like 1 point. We still have a game at hand over the Florida Panthers, 89 points to 88. The Metropolitan is just a little bit weaker. It's not looking like they're going to have a wild card representative. So we are close. We have 5 games left. Florida does have a game at hand over us. This is huge. This is absolutely huge. And really, a lot of this depends on how Malcolm Subban can handle this pressure. We have this road game against Buffalo, and then the game against Tampa. I'm not really sure how to handle this. Both are Atlantic Division matchups. I think we'll I'll stop it here. We're going to give Subban this first game against Buffalo, sim the game at Tampa, and then we'll stop there and see what it's looking like. And there you see it. An unfortunate loss to the Buffalo Sabres, 5-2. Subban in net for that. But we get the huge 3-2 win over the Tampa Bay Lightning. Both teams doing well, obviously, with Boston, though. 41-29-9. We are still in the playoff spot, as you can see, under Stat Central. So what we're going to do, I think we're going to give the next 2 games to Rask, and then that last Ottawa game, we'll see. If it's a must-win, we'll start Rask. If it's not, we'll get Subban in there, and just hope like hell we can make the playoffs, guys. We're so close. It's just, you know what? You know what? Fuck it. We're doing it live. I don't give a damn. Things don't go too well when we do it live, but let's see what happens. Can we get the win against New Jersey? We do. A 2-0 win there. Can we get the win against the Senators? We do. We get a 5-3 win. That should be enough. That should definitely be enough to make the playoffs. 43 wins. And we have, guys, we have clinched a playoff spot. Can you fucking believe it? I certainly can't. Holy shit. Never would have guessed by blowing up this team that we would make the playoffs. But as you can see, 3 points clear of the Florida Panthers with 1 game left to go. We're probably we're not going to pass Montreal. Even if we win here, they'll still have 1 more win than us. I'm pretty sure off of tiebreakers they would have us beaten. So we're in the playoffs. It's looking like we're going to be bottom of the barrel. There are going to be no wild card spots over in the Metro, just the top 3, where it's probably, actually it is essentially guaranteed to be the Washington Capitals, unless Pittsburgh pulls something out and Washington loses their last 2 games. But guys, we are in the playoffs. This is absolutely incredible. I never would have expected this, that is for sure. Let's go back here. We will start Malcolm Subban in this last game to give Rask a break. Obviously now this pushes back everything. We don't have to look at the team individually. We don't have to go and look at the end of season stats and all that shit. This game's irrelevant. It's another win, 3-0 against the Ottawa Senators. And all right, let's see. Let's see who we are playing in the first round. I do have a big question for you guys in regards to our lineup, but first I want to see who we're playing. And we get the Columbus Blue Jackets in the first round. Let's actually take a quick look at how they did this season. I still can't believe it, guys. I'm ecstatic. I cannot believe we actually made the playoffs. And the Columbus Blue Jackets, 101 points, the division leaders. Oh, fucking hell. Oh boy, I figured they were doing pretty poor, but they're not. Averaging 2.42 goals per game. So they average 2, they're giving up 2. The power play is not tremendous, it's not too bad. The penalty kill is pretty solid. 8-2 in their last 10 heading into the playoffs. So they certainly have momentum. And then there's us. We actually did manage to move up, and we avoid having to play Detroit in the first round. It's Buffalo. We just eclipsed Buffalo, which isn't too bad, as Montreal jumped them and finishes at 99 points. Our penalty kill, not too bad, 83%, and a 16% power play. So perhaps that's something we can look at to get a little bit better. But look at that, identical. It was the point, I forget where we looked at it. It might have been the midway point. 197 goals for, 197 goals against. That is absolutely crazy. But guys, we are in the playoffs. Whoever would have fucking guessed? But as far as what we need to do now, there's really one big question. Obviously, Rask is staying. For the most part, we're going to keep people here. Pasternak's up to an 83. Bodker's still at an 84. We'll actually see how he did in the regular season. So he finished with only 30 points and was actually a minus 30. So Bodker really struggled. So actually, I am going to pose that question to you. As you can see, Matt Nieto is up in overall point. He finished as our leading scorer with 56 points. So he had 11 points once he came to this team. So my question to you, do we put Matt Nieto on the top line or do we keep him on the second line? The other big question, Alex Kovalchev. You can see he's only a 78. He really hasn't rebounded too well. We'll take a look at his points. 21 points in 37 games. He's a minus 3. That's not too bad. But who do we go with? Do we go with him or do we go with Zarnik in these playoffs? That's obviously the big question. And really, at this point, since we can send down anybody we need to, whoever you guys decide that we should go with, we'll keep, and the other one we'll send down to Providence so he can get some playing time. But as you can see, Zarnik only got 8 games, 3 points though. That's not too bad. But who should we go with, guys, in that center role for the playoffs? And obviously, whoever we pick, if they don't pan out, we can easily switch it out. But is it Kovalchev or is it Zarnik? But as far as Pasternak goes and Griffith, we should probably keep them where they are. If anyone wants to know, actually, no, fuck it. Instead of showing you guys later, I'll just show you what their point total is. I should have done it for the whole team. Pasternak only finishes with 12 points in 33 games, but he's making good progress, up an overall point. And Seth Griffith finishes with 24 points in 67 games. So Griffith, a better point producer right now. What should we do with those 2 wing spots? Obviously, Bergeron's our top line center. Michael Chaput's really stepping up, already up 2 overall points. He's gone up to 4-star defense again. His stats are looking really good. I know he's designated as a 4th line guy, but for someone I was really questionable at picking up, finishes with 27 points in 81 games. It's not too bad. Brian Ferlin hasn't grown at all, still a 77. Then you got the 4th line holding it down. Not sure how they've done point-wise. If you guys want to know, leave a comment below and I'll just write you a text response. But Torrey Krug, Hamonic, this team's starting to gel, man. This team gelled at the right time after all those ridiculous moves, and we are in the playoffs. In the next episode, we do our first playoff series against the Columbus Blue Jackets. There you see the playoff tree. If there's anything you want to know, obviously whenever our season ends, you know, whether or not we get kicked out in the first round or not, or go all the way to win the Stanley Cup, whenever our season ends, I'll do the, the traditional looking at points, looking at players, and raise more questions to you guys. The main question is, what do we do with our top 2 lines? Is it Nieto and Bodker, Nieto in terms of 1-2, Pasternak, Griffith, and Kovalchev and Zarnik? What do we do with these guys? Where do we place them? And if there's any other player you want to know about, like I said, obviously I'll be touching up on everyone's stats at the end of the season. But if there's someone you wanted to know how they are doing that I didn't show or how they did this season, let me know in the comments below. I'll get back to you. I want to give you guys as much info as I can and really have you guys shape this series and how it's gone. But so far, it worked out. First season, we tried to get better, it didn't work. This season, we tried to get better, it didn't work. We finally blow up the team. We get rid of guys like Spooner and Krejci. A couple of you mentioned that specifically, and it's really panned out. We'll obviously look at them at the end of the season as well, and try to really just show guys like Eichel and McDavid and how they've progressed. But we'll look at the guys we traded away. But guys, I've rambled on long enough, but I'm fucking giddy. I cannot believe we've made the playoffs. If you've enjoyed this episode, leave a like down below, subscribe for more, answer those questions, get me your feedback, and I will put up another episode as soon as I possibly can. And we're going to the playoffs, boys. I'll see you all next time.
Can you believe it? I can.